over to you, Annie.
Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Annie and I'm an addict.
Hi, Annie.
I can't believe we're here. We've been right round fucking England getting here. It's bigger than Australia now. No, it was actually quite a nice drive. I mean, the motorway and all that is, motorways, but it's quite pretty countryside and different to Kent, really different. So, yeah, thanks Ian for coming to get me. I don't think I would have done this on my own. To be dragged over it. Nothing against you guys, just it's a bit far for Sunday night. Step 5, I'll talk on that first, get that one out the way, then I can ramble on about something else. It's, to me, step 5 is sort of like, it's a bit of an arrival point, really, as I remember it. This is my own experience, that it was, I hadn't looked any further than step 5. I was ready to do my step 4 and did that. And knew there was a step 5, but didn't just thought I was home and hosed then. In the rooms you get to hear about step 4, you'll all be well, step 4. It's like newcomers are beaten after their first meeting, they've heard about step 4 and, all this you've got to do. I don't know how many sponsees I've had that go, oh, I'll be all right as long as I don't have to do step 4. And do you know what I do now? I say that's nothing. Wait till step 6 and 8, then you can have a moan. Because to me they're much harder. But arriving at step, I did it on the same day with my sponsor, and we were in Malta. It was the first convention, I think. Were you there, Sarah? A long time ago. And we'd gone over. At that time, my sponsor was the European delegate. So we were going to different countries, there was new meetings starting and Malta was one of them. And they're still having their convention. I saw that there was one this year. But we did it all in one hit. And it felt like, it's like a closure in a way, an understanding of what I'd let myself in for with this recovery, of having a stronger understanding that by doing the written work, and this was the time I did it with this, the first time around I did it with the big book because we didn't have this book way back when. And it was sort of like, I'm getting in this book too because it was so precious to us. And we started all the meetings with using it, and it was people were carrying it around in their handbags and everything. It was like, oh, they've written a book for us, which was pretty amazing. So step 5 is sort of the rounding off place for me in a lot of ways, of an understanding more than anything. I've gone through step 4. I've told all my shit. My sponsor still wants to sponsor me, and she still does actually. I've got the same sponsor for many, many years. And the different sections really tell you, like my higher power. I wasn't too sure about this higher power. Now, we have these banners at home in Australia, and the word God's right at the top there somewhere. I can't see it from here. So it's step 12. It says God right up the top there somewhere, doesn't it? And I thought, oh, fucking hell, I'm in a bloody religious nut. I was in this little town shed, in a place in Australia where they do, in like a logging camp it was. There were horses tied up outside. This is where I am. It was a while ago, I must admit. And I walked in, and on my way to the meeting first, the sun was settling, and it was like little twinkly stars coming through the trees. And I'm pagan, so anything from out there is me. It's a sign. It's the witch's sign that you're on the right road. Should have got it out today when we were and there was all these little twinkly lights, and I thought, I feel like I'm going to change. I feel like I've finally found the message. I haven't even been to the meeting at that point, but there was hope in me already. And I knew nothing about the fellowship, nothing really. I'd heard a couple of people going, but not really, the outcome or anything like that. I didn't know. Different today. It's much different today. And anyway, when I walked in that hall, and they were old, lots of older than me even now. No, they weren't that old, but they were elderly. A lot of them. They were old timers, AA old timers, and I don't know. They just made me feel welcome and at home, and so that was the first thing I picked up, which is also part of step 5, because it's that acknowledgement of a higher power and of a program that's probably going to help fix you in one way or another if you keep going after 5 and you go on to 6. So, of course, I don't know anything about any of this stuff at that point. So I'm a very visual person, and, I can read the room. I was an addict for a long time, practicing addict for a long time, and we get to read the room. And I just felt that the warmth from these people. Little did I know then that we all had to travel, and I've shared this before in meetings, that we had to travel. Like today, would be a normal run for us to go to a meeting, because there wasn't many meetings in those days, and 1904. There wasn't lots and lots of meetings anyway. Not then. In my little hometown that I lived in Oz, there's a NA meeting there now. So it's different. So this long drive and all that stuff was, was normal in my early days of getting clean in Oz. Step 5 for me was like a stop point, a bus stop, if you like. Whereas, I was so wound up over me step 4 that I had to do everything perfectly and right, and my sponsor would understand beyond a dream that she knew what I was talking about. She says she did, I don't know if she did or not. But it's that place, that breathing place of, okay, I've got a connection with my higher power now because I've done step 3. I've been restored to sanity because I've done step 2, and I've done an inventory because I've done step 4. And I can sort of shake myself down and get ready for the rest of the program. So, and being in another country when I did at that time, being in Malta, and they were starting off their conventions at that time. I think they were 2 years around or something. They were new, and so it all sort of went hand in hand to me. I sort of liked little signs, and oh yeah, that happened. So that happened, and just all that sort of stuff. So I can't really say much. I'll probably pop in with step 5 again. I'm still on them windy roads somewhere out here in the beautiful countryside. We didn't see any cows. A bit sad about that. I'm a vegan, so I would have got out and saved them all anyway. I would have brought them all to the meeting, all the cows. And so I'll just tell you a little bit of how I found recovery. Well, you know how I got there my first day. And what I did after that first day, I kept coming back. I kept coming back. And yesterday I passed a birthday, which is, you're all going to go like that later. I'll let you do that later. Because I'm going to get one of these. So the journey begins, the journey is happening, and I'm now coming to meetings, and the using is behind me, I think. Not too sure at that stage whether it was behind me. there was still little openings sometimes that maybe. But I was pretty sussed from that night driving to my first meeting with all the twinkly lights. That was still in me, still is today, that recollection of that. And I've driven back to that place many times when I've been back in Oz to see if it was real, you know, and it's real. So when I came to England in 96, I started going to NA and have done since all that time. Always gone to NA. Sometimes I go another fellowship, but it just depends. So I'm learning now about how we integrate as addicts, how we get on, because we get on in a funny way when we're out there. We get on because we need each other, and then when we've needed someone, we give them the push. If you know where the drugs are and I don't, well, I need you, or vice versa. So we can be, I met this lovely guy last night and he knew this and he knew that. And then the following days it's gone, you know, the friendship has done its course. It has done what it's supposed to do. And maybe I'll think about that person again or maybe I won't. It becomes very closed. And going to the fellowships and going to meetings sort of ended all that in a way, because we don't do that to each other in the rooms. We just don't. Wherever you see someone, or me anyway, if I see another member, I'm really happy to see them because you're doing it, I'm doing it. That's double strength to me. That's two of us doing it. And knowing that there's so many people all over the world now in recovery. I mean, they have it on bloody cornflakes boxes now, don't they? Don't join that. Come with us and join NA. Just about is like that. You can read it on sides of buses and all sorts of things. It was all that secret society before. And I'm glad that's changed. Remember Mark and I doing PI and going down asking to put posters up. That was a few years ago, and they were horrified that we should put in the chemist. And they used to do the methadone in there. So can we put this poster up because you have access to the local addicts? Oh, I don't think the management want us to put that up. I mean, how ludicrous is that? Just some really warped. I think they've mellowed out there. I'm hoping that they have, and are more accepting of people that have this illness. And, know that everybody can help. I remember another time going to a place called, it was in Wales. It was a convention. And we stayed in this B&B. And the woman said to me, I nearly got the name of the place then. Anyway, the woman said when we went down for bed and breakfast, were you there as well? No. We've done a lot of carting around meetings, Mark and I, that we were there for a drug convention. And she said, oh, it's good you're here because we don't have any problems here. What's the name of that place? It's well known for drugs, like it's the biggest drug area in Wales. But I just can't remember. It's a seaside town. And she said, yeah, I'm glad you lot have come because, you know, we need to warn people off because there's nobody here. And that day was the day that they asked the professionals in. And the hall was packed. The professionals knew, but the lady at the B&B. So that's always makes it a bit more difficult, I think, when communities won't accept that there could be illness in their town. You know, they don't want to know about it. Whereas now I think that's changing and we just accept it a lot better. And don't make the addict feel any worse than what they do because you feel shitty enough as it is. Well, I did anyway at the end. You know, when all your hair's falling out and you're skinny and you've got scabs on you and you're not looking too good. You know, it's a disease of denial. And the only way that you're going to get better is to take more drugs. That was my rhetoric anyway, because I would never get better. And when I came in, I had Hep C, and which was very prevalent in Australia at that time. I don't think it had come to England. No one was talking about it here. Really weird. No one. Talk about secret society of the Hep C. Nobody wanted to talk about it. Have you got Hep C? No. Hot marks all over his arm. No. I'm looking for a clinic to get sorted out. Oh, no, there's not one in London, not one. And there was a lovely guy, John Tyndall, used to be in a place over in Clapham, and he trained in Oz for naturopath guy, and he used to give us acupuncture, and you know, Hep C was announced. It's part of us. It's been eradicated in Kent now, which is pretty wonderful. I bet it has here as well, pretty much. So that's part of the story. I don't know where I'm going when I share. I don't know where I'm going. I know Nick. You told me step 3 anyway, so you told me the wrong bloody step. So it's all brushed up on step 3. I know about my higher power. Yeah, so I'm not going to go on and on. I'll tell you what, I will go on about what needs to happen. My 2 bobs worth of what I hope happens soon. That NA doesn't, people stop coming. That's what I hope. Because I don't know what's happening here in your county, but in ours, the meetings are getting smaller and smaller, and nobody wants to put the kettle on anymore. They're all too good for that. They've had 3 lots of K up their nose. They do not want to make tea. They don't want to clean up. They don't want to do anything. This is what we're finding on the coast. I don't know whether you're finding it here. And I went to a convention up in Middlesbrough, which is a long way from here, and they're having this similar things there. And so we were talking about how to get more people back into NA, because the addicts are there. It's just that maybe, I don't know what's happened. I was happy to get here and stay here. And I was young then. I was 44, not that young, but I was young. You know, I'm nearly 80 now, so it's, you know, it's a long time ago. Well, I'm 77. So, yeah, that's what we're feeling and hoping, because when the pot goes round, you know, there's not a lot of money goes in anymore because no one's got any for one reason, and we won't be able to keep the rooms going. And yeah, so I say that with sadness that I would hate that, because I've got a son who needs to come here and does every now and again, then he goes out again. We've all got someone that will probably need these rooms, you know, because it's a family illness. And yeah, anyway, I've said me political bit, so I am sharing that around because I think it's important to let people know, because I didn't know about NA when I came in. I didn't know, so you know, if we tell people now, they'll know, basically. So anyway, I want to hear from you guys. Sorry, I haven't rambled on about step 5. I don't like doing them step things. I've done me steps. Ring Nina, me sponsor. She'll verify me. Good to see Sarah. Have we ever seen each other for years, have we? It's really nice. And David, I haven't seen for a long time. And Ian, I hadn't seen for ages. And it was so nice when I said, do you know where I live? He said he'd come and get me. I said, do you know where I live? I live in Ramsgate. I thought he must have forgotten that I'd moved all the way down there, because we went to London meetings for several, well, we all did. But we're all spreading our wings now, which is nice. So thanks for asking me to come over. It was lovely. I hope you're going to take me home. You're not going to leave me posted. Oh! Nice, I promise. It's like when you go to Sydney, hitchhiking to Sydney from Melbourne, and if you don't come across, they kick you out in Albury. Those that didn't get that's all right, don't worry. Thank you.
Thanks, Annie.
Thanks, Annie.